Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Om. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 11, Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga, the yoga of cosmic vision. Follow the context. Arjuna requested Krishna to bestow upon him the blessing of cosmic vision. And Lord Krishna, told Arjuna that it is not possible by normal practical eyes. A Divya Chakshu, an intuitive vision was granted to Arjuna. And that vision allowed Arjuna to be thrilled by what he beheld. The entire universe becoming a part of God, and all the visualization seems to be immediately exploding before his view. To understand this, follow the very simple illustration. Every soul is a reflected sun in a jar of water. Jar of water is mental process. Now, but the reality of the soul is the sun, reality of reflected sun. But think of the contrast. Reflected sun has its own illuminations to enjoy, but is very limited. The real sun illumines all reflections and all illuminations. So as a jiva, you are completely conditioned. As Ishvara, you are all-inclusive illumination. It is enabling your mind, this topic of cosmic vision, helping your mind to practice two aspects of sadhana in a profound way. Affirmation, and another is called nishchay, assertion. Affirmation is for your bhavana, feeling. You allow your feeling to get beyond the limits of your mind. Allow your feelings to be inspired. Vibhuti Yoga was presented to promote this movement. Vibhuti Yoga, seeing glory of God, reflecting here, reflecting there, reflecting there. But now you see the entire glory of God, not here or there, but God Himself. First stage is feeding your bhavana, feeling, seeing the glory of God in different, and thereby loving God who shines through different names and forms. But next stage, all this is happening in one body of God. Who is that God? Same one that operates as aham car in you, ego's car. That aham, when a aham car gets out of the car, when it gets out of its limitation, then it is real aham. That aham is the God that enfolds our entire universe in his radiance. And so if you were to have that darshan and learn from it, go deeper as a result of that cosmic darshan, what's going to happen? A revelation. Your very aham is the Virat form, is the Vishwarupa form of God. Your very aham, expressed through all the vibhutis, glories of this world. But your aham is only in palabras. Aham is nobody's. Aham is the truth. Reflected sun's own inner nature is the sun. So this is the setting. And therefore, reflecting upon these statements made by Arjuna, and then Krishna also responds and gives insight into his mighty personality. This whole topic inspires you to have perfect affirmation. Perfection doesn't come in one step, but successive progress in having a clear affirmation. And a profound grasp, intellectual grasp, not intellect in a superficial way. Buddhi grahya. Superficial grasp is theoretical grasp. Going beyond theory, a revelation that touches your heart, enfolds your soul, transforms your personality, all in different degrees. So keeping that in view is the 16th verse. Aneka bahu darvaktra netram pashyami tvam sarvatonanta rupam nantam na madhyam na punastavadim pashyami vishveshwara vishwarupam. Arjuna says, O Lord of the universe, the deity of cosmic form, I behold you everywhere with countless forms, countless arms, stomachs, mouths, and eyes. I do not see the beginning, middle, and end of your being. I have to understand from different angles. First basic point, as your heart becomes increasingly purified, there is an inspiration blossoms in your heart. Siya Ram Mai Sab Jag Jani. The whole world is permeated by Sita and Rama, Brahman and Maya. But quickly it has been said, In order to reach that state, the entire world is Rama or Brahman. And thereby entire world is Aham. Aham Brahmasmi. In order to reach that, there are stages. Vishwarupa Darshan is an inspirational state. But the role of inspiration is to help you to enrich your practical life. So how do you enrich your practical life? Understand, all hands are God's hands. All arms are God's arms. All stomachs are God's stomachs. So you're feeding the hungry, helping, and you are yourself helped by, in hospital you are helped by doctors, nurses. Their arms, their hands, their mouths. Who is the source behind all that? Not only human beings, animals, birds. Not only that, even trees, blossoms, leaves. And up in the sky, the twinkling stars, sun, moon. The entire universe is a cosmic form of God. But you are experiencing it on the basis of inspiration. So it will inspire you and you have to go further. Otherwise, this is not the goal. It is a powerful aid to jnana. Jnana implies you become rooted in the understanding. Am Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. And so, without allowing your mind to go after the thrill of the world, everything becomes as if waves, and behind the waves, the presence of God, Brahman. These are highly poetic and allegorical descriptions. I behold you everywhere with countless forms. So in all names and forms, adore God. Countless arms, countless stomachs, countless mouths and eyes. I do not see the beginning, middle, and end of your being. Relative experience has time, space, limitation. You dream. In your dream, you are experiencing time that is not real, space that is not real, causation that is not real either. So although that experiences have beginning, middle, and end, that means they are described in the terms of space, in the terms of time. But time and space are transcended in the cosmic form of God. All things have beginning, middle, and end. But God has no beginning. He has no end. Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo rashim sarvato deeptimantam pashyami tvam durnirishyam samantat deeptanalarkadyutima prameyam. I behold you with crown, mace, and discus. These are highlighted visions. Crown implies Just like in Sagun state of God, Krishna is adorned by the crown of peacock feathers. And Lord Vishnu has his own crown. He is not presented as peacock feather, but it is divine crown. Crowning glory is infinite Davi Sampat, divine virtue. All divine virtues shine as if adorning the head of God. He holds mace. Mace is Gada. Gada is role of abhyasa, repeated effort. When you gain an insight, you have to work upon that insight again and again. When you are introduced to meditating upon Aham Brahmasmi, one meditation, two meditation, three meditation, not enough. It should be Gada Parinyaya. Go on hammering until you become unshaken in your understanding. And chakra, great discuss, is operation of grace that accelerates self-effort. You begin your sadhana with attending on proper self-effort. If you continue your self-effort with proper skill, it creates an opening to the operation of grace, and it can be seen in every field of your learning and education. If you are a student of mathematics or whatever topic, if you become deeply involved in a study in a systematic way, it opens the door to a role of inspiration and intuition. You suddenly see a question and your mind has worked out the answer fast. Or you develop some internal insight. So that's the role of grace. And grace intensifies the quality of your self-effort. That grace is presented by discuss. That's why in a storyline, whenever there is a very difficult predicament, like Draupadi, her clothes were being taken away from her, and she was in that state of difficult, terrible predicament of put to shame in the big assembly. And there she turns to Krishna. And Krishna's discuss begins to create robes after robes. Draupadi finds herself dressed, and her dress, Dushasana goes on dragging, and it's unending until Dushasana faints. All that is allegorical story. But the basic point is the miraculous function of grace. You are in terrible predicament, and then suddenly grace operates. Miracle happens. Behold the miracle of grace. And that's the role of discuss in God's hand. A mass of luminosity, human mind, burdened by mala and vikshepa, becomes as if blind. You are losing sight of all the glory and grandeur, bliss, that is the reality behind the entire universe, the truth behind the world, the light of lights. Try to follow a very simple understanding. All experiences in the world are what's the light that enables you to experience the objects of the world, the senses. But what's the light behind your senses? Mind. What's the light behind your mind? Intellect. What's the light behind your intellect? The cosmic self. So, even in a very ordinary experience of anything, whose light is enabling you to experience? Who is the knower? Who is the seer? If you see the world full of luminosity through your senses, imagine this experience is just superficial. Through your mind at deeper level, your experience is much profounder. Through your intellect, your experience becomes still more profound. And through your intuitive vision, there is no experience. You alone exist, shining effulgent everywhere. That divine vision, the revelation of Brahman within you, is difficult to behold because you are not limiting this experience to your senses. All experiences through your mind and senses are alpam, little, just like dream-like experience. You wake up and all your experiences vanish. So, if you have experience of light in your dream, you went from room to room in a Diwali festivity, found a lot of light. Wake up. That waking state is million times more luminous than what you are seeing in your dream. Understand the allegorical way of describing. So never go on thinking that the more you meditate, more light will flash in your head. Physical light. Dazzling with radiance, like the blazing fire. Fire and the sun, and immeasurable. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam, tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam, tvamavyayah shashvata dharma gopta, sanatanastvam purusho mato me. You are the imperishable Brahman, the supreme being, worthy to be known. These Sanskrit terms are like mantras to be meditated upon for perfecting your affirmation and your intellectual grasp. What are they? Paramam, Tvamaksharam. First is Aksharam. All things perish, but God is the imperishable. All names and forms are constantly changing, but the reality underlying names and forms is ever the same. Names and forms are projections created by vrittis of your mind, like a cinema show. The reality is like the screen. So while the show creates the illusion of presence and absence, of creation and destruction, the reality is beyond that reality, the akshara. And in Hindu tradition, when you are introduced to kindergarten literature, akshara abhyas, the name is used akshar abhyas. When you start practicing how to write A, B, C, Ka, Kha, Ga, it's called aksharas. And the practice goes akshara abhyas. Your abhyas is going towards the imperishable absolute. Because every letter that you are learning is a beckoning finger towards Brahman. Because no matter how petty is your movement in your education, the purpose of your education is a realization of who am I. If you have not realized, you remain stupid in spite of all your learning. Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. So aksharam term, hammer upon your mind, gada parinyaya. Akshara, akshara, akshara. The whole world is perishable. It's Ajnana virus. Mortality virus grips all souls. And the reality, the real health of every soul is akshara. Paramam. Paramam means supreme. All things in the world that are relative, confined to time, space, causation, they are projections. Paramam is that which supports all like a screen and is the reality. Paramam is the rope sustaining the illusory snake on the rope illustration. All experiences are like the snake swirling around. And Paramam is the Param Brahma, Paramananda. Param is absolute. That absolute you are being led to view through Vishwarupa Darshan. And what's the purpose of it? To have the revelation, I am Paramananda. I am the supreme bliss. Ultimately, all your sadhana must end up with your I am. Push yourself out of aham car. Get out of this terrible car and come to the state of pure aham. Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. You are the ultimate refuge of this universe. Where is stability in the universe? Nowhere. No matter what you gain, no matter whatever support you have found in the world, money, children, putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana, popularity, all these people go after like they are the refuge of your soul. Your soul feels restful, relaxed when you have these things, a lot of popularity, a lot of children, grandchildren, that whole process, and lot of wealth. This is only the highlighted point. All that I'm referring to is the countless desires that you want to fulfill in a world that is constantly changing, a world that is not steady. But your goal is to discover I am the absolute self, absolutely stable, unshaken by anything in this world. You are the ultimate refuge of the universe, the imperishable protector of eternal dharma. Dharma protects people. If you come to realize that, then you highlight ethical values. But your mind also gives the room to something that interrupts the law of virtue. This happens due to the dullness of the mind. In brief, put it in a very simple way, when you study people and their predicaments, your mind says this person has been so virtuous, but he is in a state of great misery. Why? God has gone to rest. He's taking tea. That is not so. God is constantly alert in allowing dharma to conquer adharma. The law of goodness and its triumph, the law that enables the truth to triumph over falsehood, dharma to triumph over adharma. That law is unfailing. Even there cannot be even a minutest defect in the law. And that's because of Vishwarup, God. That God is looking after you in all detail. Param Nidhanam, supreme refuge. Twamavyaya, that God is immutable. Everything goes through transfiguration, transformation, changes. But God has no such change. Unchanging, imperishable, immutable. So these points have to go deep in your heart. First, you are glorifying God. Next, that God is me. I am. So there are two steps. One is your affirmation, another leading to complete revelation. You are the ultimate refuge of the universe, the imperishable protector, the protector of dharma. But if he is a mortal personality, how long can he protect dharma? The scripture says, imperishable protector. I consider you the ancient Purusha, Anadi Madhyantam Ananta Viryama, Ananta Bahum Shashi Surya Netram, Pashyami Tvam Dipta Hutashana Vaktram, Swatejaya Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam. I see you without beginning, middle, or end. Is a repeat, already told that, but repetition is Gada Parinyaya. Infinite in power, God is omnipotent. This point should not be forgotten. Suddenly your mind begins to take the responsibility of the world and puts God in the puja room. That insight must always be present along with your increasing faith. Faith, Shraddha, Virya, strength, Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, enabling you to have a spiritual recovery as if you are recollecting your identity. And therefore, amazing power of God must be kept before your view. Power of God that is enabling you to succeed. The power of God that is operating through every individual. Power of God that is looking into every evil deed and how to cure that evil activity. The entire world is ever active in a dynamic way, led by the omnipotence of God. And therefore, if you were to instill faith in God, help people to develop it, you are rendering a profound service. Of all services, ultimately, faith in God and Godward movement, that is the highlight of all wisdom, all religions. With innumerable arms, the sun and the moon being your eyes, the blazing fire your mouth. It's allegorical. You can envision God with sun and moon in his face. But for deeper understanding, it is pointing to Uttarayana Marg, Agni Jyoti, Agni, fire. That's how we start the Uttarayana, the northern process. Fire, Vairagya, increasing dispassion. That fire opens this big mouth of God. When you are sucked into that mouth, you are being led to the sun, sunward movement. Agni Jyoti, Jyoti movement. Vivek Buddhi begins to increase. And then it makes your whole life shine and special. But when the role of this sun movement advances, Shukla Paksha begins, moon comes in. First you are described sunward movement, beginning with the fire. Then you are coming to moon aspect, bhavana, feeling, purification in your heart. And then finally you are being led to the absolute sun, the goal. And therefore, when you divine name is presented like Ramachandra, Rama is the beginning, Agni Jyoti Ra. Shukla Paksha is Ma, Ram. Ra is Rama, Chandra. Rama is qualified by Chandra, moon. Aha is qualified by Shukla Paksha. And so this movement, every soul has to pursue this whole movement. And therefore, The entire world plan is like fire. Blazing fire is his mouth, cosmic self's mouth. Sun and moon are his eyes. And he's scorching the whole universe by his radiance. Scorching the universe. Why to scorch it? In order to be liberated, you have to get away from Bhur Bhuva Swa. Bhu is practical reality of the world. Bhuva is sentimental reality. Swa is thought-based, intellectual reality. The absolute reality requires these realities to be shaken off. So each time you have a thrilling experience connected with Brahman, revelation of Brahman, the three lokas in Shiva, and they get a sniff of fire. They go on burning until they are consumed, turn to ashes. And that becomes Shiva's Vibhuti. And with this I will conclude. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Rasa grace over all of you with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukuva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat.